inspire.
Welcome back to the Kidney Stone Diet Podcast, the show about reducing your risk for kidney stones and living your best life. I'm your host and fellow student, Jeff Saris.
And I'm Jill Harris, and I'm so happy that you're here with us.
Yeah, so we are going to have another listener call-in. We have a voicemail here, and why don't we just dive right into Joe's question?
Let's go.
Hi, Jill. This is Joe from Long Island, New York. I have a question. Why is it that oranges are much higher in oxalate than orange juice? I'm not too sure. I'm sure you could answer that. Thank you. Love your show. Bye.
That's really sweet. Ending with love your show. I don't know. We don't really hear from people.
No, I just am so excited to hear that. Not only that, Joe, but I'm originally from Long Island too, Bayshore, New York. So there you go, a fellow Long Islander. This is a very common question, and I'm super happy that Joe answered it. So orange juice, asked it. What did I say?
Answered it.
You know what? Wait till you're friggin' 57. You'll see the shit that comes out of your mouth. I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, I'm glad he asked it because, so oranges, they have more oxalate because you're dealing with the pith in there and the skin parts inside the orange. As far as orange juice, it's really diluted. There's a lot of water in it. There's no fiber in it. There's no skin stuff, pith, that white junk that everyone tries to peel off because it's yucky. I personally eat it, but then I'm a freak. But, so that's the reason. Also, please know, a lot of people come to me and many people come to me and I find that my job is so often bringing healthy foods back to people. So, they'll see on the Harvard list that Harvard said it's high. And that is why I made the safe list. It is also the Harvard list, but I took away the adjectives so patients can just see the oxalate amount and the portion amount of the food that they studied. So people can see, even though oranges are listed as high, you have 100 milligrams unless your doctor has told you otherwise to eat every day. So you can, of course, have an orange. I do, and I follow everything I ask you guys to do. So don't worry about that. I'd rather people, I know that there's a lot of people using orange juice to get their calcium needs met, but the orange juice, first of all, I have found that the lower sugar orange juice has less calcium. So always turn it around, bust around, and make sure you're seeing if you're getting calcium in that orange juice. Not all of it is fortified with calcium. And then the other thing is you get some fiber with the orange, right? So I'd rather you have the orange than orange juice, but I just want to say I do understand that people use orange juice to get their calcium. Diabetics obviously watch for all the sugar in orange juice if you are trying to get your calcium that way.
And generally, you don't promote taking a calcium supplement or other supplements like that. But when it's fortified, it is similar to a supplement. So how does that sort of jive?
Yeah, I just explain it as it's just broken down already in the liquid as opposed to a big giant pill and your body has to work to do that. It's still the least desirable way. I'd rather people get it through dairy, but a lot of people don't want to do dairy or cannot do dairy. So, and ever since almond milk made such a big giant splash and everyone was buying it, hence that's why there's a lot of stone formers too, all the almond products from keto and paleo and everything. So the coconut people, the rice people, the pea people, they're all making, all these substitute milks. So again, I don't want to shy people away from using those. I have many, many patients who use non-dairy milks, not almond or cashew, not the nut milks. And they do very well with their calcium on their urine collections, and they're doing great. So I don't want to scare anybody off from using them. I'm just saying, those still are supplemented, but they do not increase your stone risk. So I know that probably was a little confusing. It's fine if you do non-dairy milks that are fortified with calcium. Pills have been studied. Calcium supplements in pill form have been studied, and they have showed to increase stone risk. So we ask, please don't do that unless a doctor has asked you to take calcium supplements by pill because, again, bariatric patients and people who have malabsorption issues may need to do that. Okay. So I say a lot of stuff, but if you hear yourself going, that's not what my doctor told me. Okay. Because you may have a medical condition that warrants a different thing. Okay. But most of you are going to be very safe with the guidelines of the kidney stone diet. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Oh yeah, it does. It's very important too. Yeah. Because you're not trying to supersede any sort of doctor recommendations.
No.
This is only to help people along the journey as a supplement to, or say alongside what they've already been advised by their doctors.
Exactly. So, as a nurse, I legally can't do that, of course, but I don't want to confuse anybody if a doctor has told them something. So I want to just make sure that that's clear.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I think that's great. And it also makes sense, just to swing back around to supplements for a second. Like you mentioned, it's already broke down in the orange juice. It's sort of also thinking like you could take supplements any time of the day. We might not be taking them with food. And if they're not with food, it is a calcium or vitamin D or vitamin C bomb that's hitting your system.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not being distributed.
And also when you're drinking those non-dairy milks or orange juice where calcium has been added, I always tell my patients, please shake that bottle up before, because all that stuff settles to the bottom. So you want to make sure you're getting what you're supposed to get. So I shake up my coconut milk and my son's orange juice. He shakes it up now too. He's like, I know, shake it up. Yeah. I did, Mom. I shook it. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a really great recommendation. I didn't even think about that. We tend to maybe shake it a little bit, but thinking that, it will settle. Like it is something that's been added. So,
Jeff, I am such a freak. I mean, it's like I'm doing a dance because, you could see me. I'm a very dramatic person. So I'm like this and this. So I really, if I am using something that has been supplemented, I definitely give it a good shake because I want to get what I'm supposed to be getting,
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. So I think that's a good place to wrap. Thank you again, Joe, for your question. And for anyone else who has a question that they want answered on the show, the number is 773-789-8763. That's 789-8763. I want to be sure I'm saying it correctly because that would be unfortunate to be giving someone else a bunch of voicemails about kidney stones.
Yes, and say the area code again because you didn't say that again.
Yeah, it's 773-789-8763. And you'll find that in the show notes and everywhere. But
great.
Yeah, I think this was great.
And Joe, thanks, man, a fellow Long Islander.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. It was a great question.
Yeah, so I think we will wrap there, and I totally hit the outro music too soon. So we'll just play it now here. But yeah, thanks again for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye, everybody.